What's good, Flex Zone family? It's Monday, but not just any Monday. It's the Monday before the NFL draft. So we had to do a little something special. That's right, we're doing a draft special with your host, the voice of reason. The lineup is going to look a little bit different tonight. We'll preview the NFL draft and give some predictions with a couple special guests and discuss the first round of the playoffs and some season-ending awards. It's the Flex On Podcast, episode
347. 437. Sorry.
437. Episode 437. Only give you sports how you want it, when you need it. You want to redo that?
No, we can go from here.
All right. Yo, what's good? Good people, Flex Zone family in the building. Another Monday evening. We getting this thing started. We kicking this thing off right. Lead off, our boy, social media extraordinaire, Big Raj. What it do, baby? You on mute, baby.
Damn, I am on mute. You're right. This is your boy, Big Raj. I am here. And you always know I'm here to stay, baby, because there's always going to be something that's great. And where it is. Hold on. Where's that thing? Oh, I'm always going to bring this, of course. You always know I'm going to bring that belt for that ass whooping, that's coming your way.
You got to give me another one, Raj.
If I can find the damn thing. I got so many cards on here, yo. I'm an awesome person,
I guess, man.
No. Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
I
Now
got your favorite one, Drake. Here you go. That's right.
Is that all of them? Did we check all the boxes?
No, he didn't do the scissors.
Yeah, there's one more.
Where the daddy one?
I can't find it. My heavens.
You can't find it.
My heavens. It's too much.
Anyway, I'm here. Ready to get the show started. Doing background work today, so just stay tuned. We got a wonderful NFL draft for you guys. Preview, of course, and with two special guests, so just stay tuned.
Next, last but not least, in this three-man weave, we got the co-patriarch of the Flex Zone, my co-founder, or our co-founder, executive producer. I ain't doing all of what the God's favorite host used to do, so you're not getting all of that from me. But my man, our guy, your man, y'all guy, Andre Melton, a.k.a. Drizzy Dre. What you got for him, Raj?
That's not it? Oh, damn.
No, ding, ding, ding.
Acknowledge me.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mr. Acknowledge himself. Well, I ain't know what that was. I ain't know what was coming up. I was like, this is a scary movie. What are we doing?
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
There we go. Lord have mercy, man. One job.
All the bells and whistles. There you go.
One job. Look, this is our bread and butter tonight. This is basically the foundation of the flex zone. We talk about a lot of other sports, but what brought us together was football. So I'm very excited. I'm excited about our guest and the fact that my brother, this is his first time hosting the show. So I'm really excited about that, and I know he's going to kill it tonight. So my right hand man, take it away, brother.
Hey man, we do what we can with what we got, which ain't a lot, but we get it done all the same. I am Prevante Heard, the voice of reason, stepping in for God's favorite host, who is taking a much needed break because the brother has been working 25/8, as he used to say about Dre all the time. So he's doing he's doing a lot of that. So he's taking a lot of rest. But before I bring on my guests, make sure you sack the subscribe button, hit stick that like button, and bulldoze the bell. Get those super chats up, and we will answer any NFL draft questions or any other sports or non-sports related questions you may have live on air. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. We got a couple guests coming on. We'll bring them up one by one. Let's see. Where do I go first? Where I go first? All right. Let's do our guy that we ain't seen in a minute. We know this brother from way back in the Morgan days. Teacher extraordinaire, coach extraordinaire. He be getting them kids together, taking them down to Florida with doing big things on a national level with with football and all that good stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna get down there, El Crawford. He done invited us every year to come down there and talk to the kids. Dre done been down there a couple times, and at some point I gotta get down there to talk to the kids at some point or another. But let's bring up my guy, y'all guy, from Morgan State University, from PG County, Philadelphia Eagles extraordinaire, El Crawford.
No, I got it.
Yes, give me.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's a privilege to be on. I'm honored. Like I said, we go way back, way back.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
So it's all love when we all get together.
Most definitely. It's definitely been a while, but we have one more brother to bring up. It's funny, we usually talk around this time a little bit more frequently. I've been on his podcast representing the Flex Zone along with our good brother, God's favorite host, Byron, and we talk a lot about the NFL draft. We agree on some things, we disagree on some things. It's pretty normal. He has his own podcast, Disqualified Opinions, and man, it's been a minute since he's on, but every time he's on, it's an absolute good time, and I'm very interested to see how he feels about this upcoming draft, especially those quarterbacks. Let's bring up our guy, Mr. Rouse World.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I know it's always a pleasure. We normally do this at least once a year, so it's always nice to hang with you guys, talk to you guys. Back at it again.
Indeed. So, the biggest thing, like I said, we're gonna get into the meats and potatoes of this thing. The NFL draft is coming this Thursday, and there's a lot of sought after offensive pieces, signal callers, wide receivers, offensive linemen. It's pretty much going to dominate the draft. But we'll start with the signal callers. Who do y'all think is the number one quarterback. Well, no, but let's do top three. Top three quarterbacks in this year's draft for 2024. We're gonna start with El Crawford.
Oh, my top three is pretty simple. The first one is Caleb Williams. I think he's head and shoulders better than everybody. I like the young guy at LSU, Jaden Daniels. I think he's a not a close second, but he's right. He's the next right under him. He shows the most ability. And the third one, I think, it might surprise you. I like Penix from Washington. I think he can make all the throws as you saw, through Washington's season. He looked like he has the most. I think he's the most accurate, and I think, we get into this thing with black quarterbacks, how they always try to question their accuracy. Penix was like he was throwing the ball well, all season long. He got a little bit hurt in the national championship game. And also, in the trenches, it's quite natural. Washington would get kind of destroyed, beat up in the trenches against Michigan. So it kind of, it made sense why they lost. But as far as being able to sling the rock, Penix can throw. He's a very gifted thrower, and he always been. He battled a couple of injuries through his college career, and that's why it's kind of been prolonged through a couple of years. But I like those three quarterbacks. I think Caleb Williams can't miss target. He's a generational talent. He's can make all the throws. I think he's an Aaron Rodgers clone. I think he has a little Aaron Rodgers with him, with a little Patty Mahomes. And he's a little weird, but I think you got to be weird to play this game. You got to be weird. A hidden fact: the organization I coach for now, the Bowie Bulldogs, Caleb Williams was there when I was there when I first started off, and I got to see the kid as an 8th grader. He is the real deal. Even at 8th grade, you can see that's the first time I kind of measure all the quarterbacks I see now that I coach, through him as being the ceiling, the way the ball jumps off his hand. It was jumping off his hand as an 8th grader. So he is, I've seen him up close and personal. He is the real deal. I can tell you guys that. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Indeed. Let's go to Rouse next. Top three, brother.
So I'm on record hating this quarterback draft.
Yes, you are.
I don't like any of them, which is crazy because people love Caleb Williams. He is my 1. My 2 is Jaden, and my 3 is Penix. I don't like McCarthy. I don't like Drake May. I think he is Sam Howell 2.0.
Yikes.
And I'm just not a fan. I do think that Caleb should be fine, but he's going to the Bears, so I don't think you're going to see what we all hope to see out of him. But yeah, I'm just not a real big fan of this draft in totality at that position.
Very, very interesting. Dre, what you on, man?
Now you already know this is about to be a whole disagreement.
Here we go. Stirring the pot, turning the. Here you go.
But I'm a do you. I'm gonna start low and then end high. So my 3 is actually Bo Nix. I'm very high. I'm high on Bo Nix, but what he was able to do at Oregon, I like what he was able to do.
He's 30.
And
no, for real, he's like 25 though. For real.
Penix is what, 20? That's my 2. He's like what, 24?
Yeah, COVID jacked up a lot of eligibility and all that.
And Caleb Williams is my 1. I don't like where Caleb is going. I know you can't really choose, your organization, but what the Bears, what they were able to do with Justin Fields, it wasn't much. I don't like the treatment that he got, and I feel like Caleb Williams will kind of get the same kind of treatment. He might be able to Andrew Luck his way out of this situation and bring the Bears to some type of relevancy, especially with all the moves that they were able to make this offseason. But until I see it, it's not really about Caleb and his abilities. It's just more about the organization. I just don't feel like it's going to be suitable for him, especially after seeing what they did with Justin Fields.
All right, Drake. Wait. All right, Drake. Real quick. Run it
Don't
back.
tell that to Dion, Mark.
Run it. Run it. Run that back. So you said Bo Nix, and I kind of stopped listening after that.
Bo Nix, Penix, and then Caleb.
Interesting. So Jaden Daniels is now to your top 3.
I put him like right under, and then I have Drake May as my 5.
Wait. It's okay. We need all that. That's interesting because J for a former Heisman Trophy winner, no love from Dre.
No.
Just no. Raj, how you feel about this class?
I don't know, man. I really don't know how I feel about this class, to be honest with you. I have been watching y'all draft prospect videos, of course, and I told you I'm not really feeling Caleb Williams, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been telling you this all year. I think he'll be okay, but I think he's in the wrong situation. Although they have given him a lot of weapons to start with, which is a good thing. I just think that it's going to probably take him a year or two to get his feet wet and to get comfortable in Chicago. But he is going to be number 1, of course. I think Jaden Daniels needs to go to Washington. I think it would be very good for him to go there just to learn. And since y'all are rebuilding in a proper, correct way with a great owner and a great Magic Johnson who smiles like this, you know, I think he'll be number 2, and then I think Drake may probably be number 3, going to the New England Patriots. So that's my top 3.
Great transition, because that was the next question, because I feel like the draft really starts at 3. What are the Patriots going to do? I think that's what we get our first movement of the draft. So what does what do the Patriots do? They have a lot of holes. Rookie head coach, defensive minded head coach, and Gerard Mayo. Not really any offensive weapons. Is this a good place, Rouse? Is this a good place for a young quarterback such as maybe a Drake May can go and succeed? Or should the Patriots just do away with this and go ahead and trade it?
So I feel like if the choices between Drake May and JJ McCarthy, you trade back. I think if, sadly, your Commanders make the wrong decision and leave Jaden on the board, I think that Jacoby Brissett would be able to kind of help Jaden transition into the NFL.
Yeah.
Because the Patriots have so many different holes, I would take him there. But if he's not on the board, then honestly, they should probably just trade out of the first round altogether and just keep accumulating as many picks as they can, because that team needs everything just about. Like, it's not one thing that I can say that team has. I would be selling Judon if I'm them right now too. I would just be selling everything.
Where Dre, you like that? You like that? Huh?
Yeah. The chocolate writer, she agrees with me in my picks.
I guess.
Of course.
I guess.
You know what? I'm noticing though, everybody, you know, we though we have 3 different quarterbacks that we're all talking about, nobody's really talked about JJ like that. I mean, you know, there's been talks about Minnesota trying to move up to get him, but it seems like none of us put him in our top 3, and he's a winning quarterback.
I think. Go ahead, El Crawford.
I think, well, for me with JJ McCarthy, the issue with me is the fact that at Michigan he wasn't really allowed to do anything. You look at the game. I think it was the game against Ohio State. He didn't attempt to pass. No, it wasn't Ohio State. It was another team, some team in the Big Ten he played against. He didn't even attempt to pass in the second half. You know, and that Jim Harbaugh offense is very old school, prehistoric. It's not spread. It's very 1 to 2 reads, play action, fake, pound the ball. And when you look at somebody like these teams that are picking in the beginning of the rounds, they need somebody that's going to transform their organization. He's more like a Brock Purdy, a game manager that he comes off as, or even an unknown. You can almost say it's an unknown because you don't know what he's going to do when you put him in a more traditional NFL style spread offense. That's where JJ McCarthy kind of scares me, for a fact. But like you said, he's a person that has managed a championship level team. So I get kind of scared. I kind of cringe when the Patriots want to pick him, or people have him with the Patriots, JJ McCarthy and the Patriots, because it's the same thing with Mac Jones. Mac Jones was a guy that you put in Alabama, who was around a lot of talent and kind of managed his way, through his college career. Now, when he got to the Patriots, they didn't have those receivers, the type of receivers he had at Alabama. So you saw him struggle. He struggled mightily in games to the point where he got benched. I think it was at one point he got benched 4 straight weeks.
Word.
They put him out at just about by halftime. He was done. So I think with JJ McCarthy, I'm scared that can he raise the level of a team and be a superstar, more like a Jaden McDaniels or a Caleb Williams. One thing I tell you about Caleb Williams has the arm talent probably better than a quarterback in the last 3 or 4 years. Coming out of the draft. His arm talent alone, like it's crazy. Is the way he can sling the rock. And I feel like he's going to be able to kind of carry Chicago's playmakers to new heights. I think he can do that. He has the arm talent to do it. I think JJ McDaniels, he runs like a 4.4. He has the ability to be kind of like how you saw with the boy Justin Fields. He can kind of run. So when he gets in trouble, he's going to run. What is JJ McCarthy going to do when those receivers of the Patriots get pressed? He's not going to be able to raise that team to a level of play, and that's where the Patriots are going to struggle. And if you're a coach, especially a rookie coach, do I want to tie my career with JJ McCarthy? I think not. I'm trading back and see if I can get my quarterback next year.
Go ahead, Rouse.
I think that whoever the quarterback they take, if they take a quarterback, though, I don't think they start him. I don't think that the Patriots are in a situation where if they do select that 3, that person has to play day one. I don't even think they choose to play the person day one. I think that they go into it understanding that person is sitting for a majority of the year outside of injury, or if he's really that good. And if he is that good, then, hey, you lucked up. You got him at 3. You're good. I do think you are right. JJ is an unknown. But I don't think that – I think when we look at the Patriots, we look at what they just did with Mac Jones. And it's not – I honestly only give him like 25% of the blame. That man had a defensive coordinator as an OC for 3 years? It's hard when that's not his – he didn't have anybody to help him. They call him plays. They doing a lot of the wrong stuff for a rookie quarterback, for a young quarterback trying to make that transition, who didn't have to do all of those things in college. They mentored him the complete wrong way. I'm not the biggest Mac Jones fan in general, but Mac Jones could have been Brock Purdy. If you could have asked the San Francisco 49ers if they would have been able to take Mac Jones, they would have easily. He could do everything that Brock Purdy does. I think that JJ can do everything that Brock Purdy does. So it's not hard. I just don't think the team is in a position to need to win on day one. That's why I would just trade back to accumulate the picks. They don't need it right now. They're not QB away.
So, Rouse, we kind of on the same page about New England. If I'm New England, I don't feel like this year you should grab a quarterback. What I'm thinking about, this might be a little bit of a long shot, but with Dak Prescott being out there, I just don't feel like – I feel like this might be the end for him in Dallas. Same thing with McCarthy out there. And I think that if I'm the Patriots, you can get a veteran quarterback in there with a fresh start in New England, and then maybe draft a quarterback later. Just forward. That's just my forward thinking about them. But I don't see because I don't see the New England situation changing anytime soon. They need a lot of help, like you said, there's a lot of holes there.
I'd be looking at 2026. There's a guy coming out of Texas in 2026 who might just be that guy. If I'm tanking right now, I might just settle for a little bit and accumulate as many picks as I can until then.
Does he have an arch in his name?
No.
He does have an arch in his name. And a man in the last part.
Are you talking about him? I thought you were talking about the other guy.
Is he a part of football royalty?
Yes, very much so. You know, well, a lot of one wide receiver and three quarterbacks, if I'm not being mistaken. He has. I've been watching him for a long time now. I think whoever gets him is going to be really, really interesting to watch.
So what's the deal? What's the deal with Texas? Like, what are they doing? Why is he? It seems like they're holding him back. Or am I tripping?
I think he's accepted it though. I think he knows that he only needs 1 year to really perform based on name. So it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to go out there and put up stats for 3 years. He just doesn't. His last name is Manning. He's going to get drafted in the first round no matter what he does outside of like injury or just like terrible play, which we haven't seen. He looked amazing in the spring game the other day. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to. He does not need to start all 3 years. He can just start in 2026 and that be it. And he's still going to go top 5.
But that's still easy. A weird scenario that he has at least maybe 2 years, but he, like you said, he only needs a year. But that is still weird that he hasn't made the starter, hasn't gotten the starting job. Well, you said he looks good.
Well, he does look good.
Their starting quarterback, he put up numbers.
He did.
He did really, really good. And made himself kind of, gave himself a position to get drafted next year. So I think, with Texas, like Raul said, he's not forced to play and have to play early. So now he can kind of get developed a little bit, and by his junior year, kind of like an old school approach, by his junior year, he can start and kind of like showcase his junior year, then decide whether he's coming back or go. And also Texas is quietly as low as of keys is building something. They're going to catch Alabama on the way down and Georgia kind of on the way down. So they're going to be right about his junior year. They're going to be close to premier teams in college football. It's going to let's be real. College football is changing.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
College football has changed. Now, Nick Saban, Gasol, he sees the writing on the wall.
Yep.
He's like, man, I can't really compete like I used to. I used to have a leg up on everybody. Now it's free game. You already see how Dabo's pissed off. He's been screaming for the last 2 years. He wanted no parts of where we're going. And you see the transfer portal is crazy. You see Florida State every year pick up 14 to 15 transfer portal kids that are dogs. They're not just getting people that got soured on their teams. They're getting those D1 AA schools that's looking for a shine. They're getting dogs out there. They're replacing everybody. They're not even wasting time with freshmen. If you look at Florida State, and you also look at Ohio State. Ohio State's ahead of the curve. So like it's Oregon too, but it's getting kind of spooky in college football. And I think Texas, kind of are quietly building it up in the right way.
Okay, so let's transition to wide receivers. Is it a foregone conclusion that Mr. Harrison Jr. is going to be the number 1 wide receiver off the board, or does a prospect such as Romo Dunze or Malik Neighbors have a shot or an opportunity to push him to be wide receiver 1 in this draft? Anybody can take that?
It's a lot of. I'll tell you this: the teams that are picking in the top 10 are a lot of teams where the GMs are kind of unpredictable.
Sure.
You kind of Oakland Raiders is right there. You got the New England Patriots right there that goes off script. So it's not going to be unheard of for them to pick somebody that we probably weren't thinking wide receiver, the board. But I would say if you're not overthinking it, Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably number 1. Number 2 is probably Neighbors, and then everybody else is probably after that. But me personally, I would give my vote of confidence to Thomas from LSU. I think he is the best receiver in the draft. That's my opinion. I think that when it's all said and done, he's gonna flash more than probably Marvin Harris Jr. But Marvin Harris Jr. is probably can't miss though. I mean, Ohio State, he was blessed not to have. Well, he had Stroud, but this past year he didn't really get to do what he's known to do because they had a terrible quarterback last year, and so it kind of hurt him a little bit. And he kind of coasted his way through the season. But these wide receivers this year, they're very talented. I like the kids from Washington. Both of the kids from Washington are very, very talented kids. But I like the LSU receivers. But if you tell me what's the safe pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. all day.
Well, Rouse.
This is probably one of the deepest drafts with like first round talent, undeniable wide receiver first down talent. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. clear and above everybody else. Do I think that Neighbors or anybody else specifically could end up with like a better career wise based on where they're drafted? Yeah, it's possible. I just don't think we have seen that well polished of a receiver in a very long time with the ability to pretty much kind of do it all in a sense. I don't know what it is about him. It's just electrifying. I've been watching him for so long that I just don't think he's going to be that bad.
Right.
I do think Thomas is really good. I think you can see Thomas kind of just turning into that guy that should have been top 5, even though I do think he gets drafted later. And Rome, I love Rome. He's that big bodied guy that's just gonna just do everything. Like he is like the Mike Evans kind of build, I would say. Neighbors, another LSU wide receiver. They're just a wide receiver factory at this point. Really not much to be able to say. Safe bet is picking a wide receiver from LSU at this point as of late. You can't really go wrong with it. But I do have Marvin Harrison as the best one. I think, even though I think they're light years away as well, I think the Cardinals are going to stay at 4 and take them. But I think they're in the same situation as New England where they just have so many holes that I don't even think that's the best decision to do for them as well.
Yeah, I would hate for him to go to the Cardinals and just feel like he's wasting time, similar to like a Larry Fitzgerald, where it's like it's this talented guy and he's just stuck and he might be loyal to a fault. I think everybody has the consensus that Marvin Harrison Jr. is the guy. Riles, I know you're really high on Neighbors and El Crawford. That was a good suggestion about Thomas from LSU because he hasn't gotten that much traction. It's been about really Harrison and Neighbors, but I don't, like you said, Riles, I don't think you can really go wrong. It's just so much talent, I think, in this draft. We're talking about wide receivers, we're talking about linemen, so it's just a lot of you can start building your team in the right direction, I think, in this draft.
What is the deal with LSU? They putting out 2 legit guys like every couple years. It's two of them. We go back to Landry, Odell Beckham, Jay Jetta, and Jamar
Chase. Yeah.
And now we got Thomas and Malik Neighbors. What is going on? Is this the new wide receiver because it was Ohio State for a little bit, and Ohio State still puts out guys, but it seems like LSU is consistently putting out 2 like every 3-4 years or something like that. What's up, Raj? What's the deal with it?
Oh man, you asking the wrong person, man. I have no idea why the LSU is putting out these superstar wide receivers. I have no idea, man. But I do got a question for Riles, though. And this is a good one because we already know what the Ravens, we need offensive linemen. And, of course, with Rashad Bateman being on his last year with the Baltimore Ravens, do you see us getting a wide receiver in the second round? Or do you think that we trade Rashad Bateman and get another proven wide receiver and maybe like go down in the draft or something like that?
My perfect situation would be if the Ravens can draft out of 30 for a team like in that high second round that wants to trade up, and we get another pick. Because I think this draft is really, really deep at wide receiver and really, really deep at offensive line, which is 2 of our biggest needs along with corner, to me personally. Sneaky pick that I love is Lad McConkey out of Georgia for us. I really, really love him to us. I just feel like the way that the Ravens can play next year is if Bateman does develop into how I think he should be. I think injuries have cost him a lot of his journey with us right now, kind of similar to somebody we just lost recently, being J.K. But if he can turn it, this will be the season where he has the ability to do so. I think you'll see a lot of likely. I think you'll see a lot of Bateman. Of course, you'll see a lot of Mark Andrews. Of course, you'll see a lot of Zay. If he just has never had that connection with Lamar, so I wouldn't be surprised if we cut bait. I've been hearing that the Broncos are a destination for him, possibly. If we can get a pick out of it, I wouldn't mind not having to pay him. But I also don't think he's going to be that expensive based on what he's done so far in his career. But if the offensive lineman that the Ravens are really, really high on is there, I think you see it. It's funny. I've been seeing lately that Rome has actually been dropping in a lot of mock drafts. I think the most recent one I saw, he dropped like 16, 17. If that happens, the Ravens should trade up and draft him. I think that's the perfect wide receiver that we could possibly do. I think the last one I saw, they had Rome going to Cincy at 17, which is insane. If he drops to 15 and you're the Ravens, there's no way you allow him to stay on the board and get to Cincinnati and allow them to trade T. Higgins and get another rookie on a rookie wide receiver contract. But yeah, I think we trade back. I think that's more in line what we normally do anyway. It wouldn't be surprising. They would have to love whatever guy's there, but I would love a trade up in this draft just with how many wide receivers there are. Like Thomas, I would love Thomas on the Ravens. I'm not really that sold on Xavier.
Right.
What's his last name? He ran the
Worthy.
4. He broke
Worthy.
he broke the record. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not really sold.
Oh, Xavier Worthy.
Mainly because, he the same player as Zay. So it's like, it's kind of weird. And I know people say that Lad is as well, but I get a lot of Cooper Kupp out of Lad. Like, I just think that's what he reminds me of. And I wouldn't be mad at just having that other guy that can pretty much kind of maneuver a lot through the league.
Okay. I just want to reiterate. Make sure you sack the subscribe button, hit stick that like button, and bulldoze that bell. Also, get those super chats in, and we will answer any draft questions or non-sports questions, and we will answer them live. Now, El Crawford, Eagles man. The Eagles pick towards the end of the first round. I'm hearing some rumors that a trade up may be a possibility. What should the Eagles be looking at? What needs do you think that the Eagles should address, and do they move up?
So if one thing I know about Howie Roseman is around this time and probably last week, he likes to call the teams ahead of him and find out what it takes to get up to that spot. So I'm pretty sure he did his due diligence of, he probably has a number. Let's just say, for instance, if it's like to get up to 14 or 15, he's already contacted that person in 14, 15 and knows what he needs to give up to get there. That being said, I think the Eagles are just like the Chiefs in the sense where their thing with the draft is to build through the lines first. They want to see what type of impact line they can get, whether it be offensive lineman or defensive line, and then they kind of move outwards from there. Looking at our needs, I think that we're going to look at possibly a cornerback. I think Arnold from Alabama is one of them, and I think also the guy from Toledo. I think those are the two kind of people to keep your eye on. I think you can, like I said before, you can't rule out a pass rusher. I think the guy that's a very interesting guy is one, the Alabama guy, Dallas Turner, is one person that if he gets into that 14 to 15 range, you'll see the Eagles might jump, run to the podium. And I also think a guy like J.C. Linton from
Latham, yep,
Alabama. I think that's another target that they'll be looking for. And also the guy from UCLA, Latu. I think he's also somebody, but he has major red flags with the medicals.
Yeah.
They
Latu, something like that.
Yeah, he has a very serious neck injury that if he injures it again, he might not ever play again. So I see teams that kind of get scared from him. I think the Eagles will move up based off the fact that I don't know if you guys remember back in, I think it was 2015, it was 15 or 14, the Marcus Smith draft, when the Eagles were dying to get Brandon Cooks. They would have done just about anything, and they did not trade up to it. They wanted Clinton Dix, and they wanted him or the wide receiver, and they waited, and they got stuck in no man's land. They had to pick Marcus Smith, and Howie Roseman feels like that was probably one of his worst drafts of all time. And ever since that draft, he's been extremely aggressive, especially in the first round, moving up. So I think the Eagles. If I'm a betting man for FanDuel, shout out to FanDuel who take all my money. I would go. I would go with the Eagles are gonna trade up at some point in the first round and get a guy that they're targeting. And if you want me to tell the name, I'll put it on. I think they'll get the cornerback out of Toledo. I think that's their guy.
Keon Mitchell.
Yeah, Keon Mitchell. I think they're gonna go get him. That's why I think their target is.
So how much? Because I when I was doing the profiles with Byron, that was my cornerback number one. Now, how much does it affect? Because it doesn't seem like it affects you much that he went to a Toledo and he's going up against guys like Nate Wiggins, Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid that went to top-notch programs. How much do you think that matters in scouting a prospect?
I think it matters. I think you have to put some type of importance on it to a degree. But if you can play, you can play.
Right.
And I think the fact that he got a chance to go to the Senior Bowl kind of proved the doubters wrong in the Senior Bowl and kind of competed there at a high level. I think that kind of put stuff like to rest a little bit. But that's always going to be the thing about a school, a person that goes to a smaller school. But for me, it don't bother me because, like I said, at the end of the day, these guys. One thing about NFL and NFL scouts, they're very good at putting together guys or scouting guys that are talented from lower level schools. So they know what they're looking for when they see people in lower level schools. So that's not for him to make it this far and get up the draft boards this far. If he's a bust, it won't be because he went to a small school. It would just be because he couldn't play on this level. So I would take him. I would have without any worries in the world.
Okay. Raj, what position should the Ravens be looking at from your perspective? I know we talked to Riles, but what do you think the Ravens should absolutely address in the draft in the first round?
Well, first and foremost, we lost a lot of offensive linemen, so we have to get a lineman at least in day one or day two. I think it's very important that we fill that need, especially at offensive tackle, especially with Ronnie Stanley being on his last year. I think he's done after this year, so got to get a tackle. That's number one. Number two, I would say cornerback because one, Marlon Humphrey is up as well. He's on his last legs. He got hurt a lot last year. Not to say he's not a good cornerback or a great cornerback. It's just I'm not sure about him. I have question marks. Brandon Stevens is in his last year of his contract as well. So we have not signed him yet either also. So a cornerback is a must. And I would say my third probably would be a wide receiver. If there's plenty of them out there, of course. We just went over them. Plenty of them. And with Rashad Bateman not having his best years with the Ravens, him being injury prone, him being the second option as of right now, we have to find somebody in the draft that's going to be able to replace him because, believe it or not, even if he does have a great year, I don't think he's coming back to this team. Only because, one, I just don't see the Ravens paying him. And two, him and Lamar's connection, although at times has been suspect, it's just never really worked for me. So I like the guy. I thought he was a number one when we got him, but injuries have cost him a lot. And on top of that, it just looks like it's not going to work out the way I want it to work out. And Zay Flowers is another reason why I don't think he's going to get the payday that he wants. So those are my top three positions that I would love in the draft.
Okay. So then,
Kavante, can I add something?
sure, absolutely.
I talked about a lot of DBs. Ain't nobody named Cooper out of Iowa. Don't he go to Iowa? I feel
Yeah,
like he went to Iowa.
Cooper DeJean.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I do. I just don't know what I would play him as. I don't know if I'll play him at corner or would I play him at safety. That's for me.
I think he could play the slot or safety.
But
Yeah.
slot. So I guess ideally, what's going to make him have the ability to play, or that we know he can make a league, is Tyrann Mathieu. I think he's probably the white Tyrann Mathieu, and I think that's the type of role he'll probably have. You know, playing slot, and then transition to safety as as later on in his career. He's also a great returner. So the boy can ball. Of course, there's the elephant in the room that do you trust the white D back? That's always going to be the elephant in the room. The thing with him, but if you just like there's a saying with scouting. If you take away the face of the prospect and just let the tape and show the kid can play. There's no doubts on that. He played on the highest level. Highway, no slouch. That's high D1 is the highest level you can get. So I trust him. I just don't know if I can pick a slot, a nickel. That's his floor. Probably just a nickel corner in the first round. If he's able to play outside or if he's able to play safety, that kind of raised the bar for me for a little bit. But then again, when you pick a safety in the first round, I mean, people do it. If it's not Ed Reed or Brian Dawkins, I don't know you pull the trigger on a safety in the first round. So with him,
Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton, but he's a freak of nature. He's 6'4",
he was that.
6'4". You can go a lot with him. You can play him they put him at will linebacker a little bit. They put him, they kind of you can move him around and do things, which you could do with the kid from Iowa. But it's just, I don't know if I'm in that room and I put my name as a GM to that pick and it doesn't pan out, or I don't have a plan for him. Because, really and truly, this is all about situation. And do you have a plan for the paper? You can't just pick him and then just expect him just to, show up. If you have a plan for him and you're okay with him, like somebody like the Ravens who seem, I know in the past, the Ravens are really good at putting DBs in great positions to succeed, but if I'm not mistaken, the D coordinator is gone, right?
Yep, with Seattle.
So that scares me even more. Even though you guys know better than me who's replacing them and how how well thought of he is. But you got to have a plan for a player like him.
I ain't mad at that. We got Zachary Orr now. He used to play linebacker for us back in the day. He's been around ever since injuries kind of ruined his career. He was actually really, really good, but he's been around since he retired.
Yeah,
but I do think if Cooper was black, I think he would get a lot more hype than what he's received up until this point. I think his ball skills might be some of the best that we've seen coming out of college in a very, very long time. He just has a knack for getting to it. I would take him on the Ravens as that slot corner presence. I just don't think corner is that high of a need for us, kind of like Raj said. It is, but I do think we also do go offensive tackle personally. I just think that we lost 5, 6, Raj, on the O-line.
Yeah, we lost a lot.
I think you see probably Mims. I think he's been projected to us a lot. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes. He kind of just automatically just slides in at that right tackle spot. I'm not the biggest fan of Lele anyway.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, I think Ben Cleveland is going to be better.
I think he's going to be good.
And I think the guy, Voorhees. We'll see what he got. I'm not sure what he has, but he'll be slotted to be a potential starter.
He was really good. He just tore his ACL. But he was really good. I think if he was out of USC, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think if he doesn't tear his ACL, I think he was like a 3rd round pick. maybe low second. So I think that was a steal getting him in the 7th round, being able to get him under contract. I've heard he's been really, really good in rehab, but I think he automatically just slides in at left guard. Cleveland slides in at right guard. I will miss Kevin. I think he was really, really good. I think Ronnie stays though. I do disagree with you there, only
Okay.
because I don't think it's easy to find a left tackle in the NFL.
So you think beyond this year he comes back?
On team friendly deal, yes.
Hmm.
Yes. It has to be super duper team friendly though, because we paid him to sit on the sideline
It's super
for 3 years
duper.
now. Has to be the most friendly deal possible because of everything we've been through with him. But yeah.
But also remember, he has to play to get paid this year. So it is going to depend on if he can actually stay on the field more than I guess 70% of the time.
I hope that we do not continue to do what we did last year, which was him being subbed out for some possessions and Makari coming in. That just wasn't a good thing for me. It doesn't solidify the offensive line play when you have people subbing in and out every couple of drives. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But I think we take a lot of shots at offensive tackle in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised if we walked out of this draft with 2 or 3 of them. Just because we lost so many.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had 4.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm serious.
I think we only have 4 needs. Yeah, I think our 4 needs are offensive tackle, cornerback, wide receiver are kind of like that 2-3, 2A, 2B kind of situation.
Maybe
and then edge.
Maybe running back too.
I think the Ravens do so well with so little at running back, and having Lamar Jackson kind of mitigates the need for it 24/7. And I like Mitchell. We do have to see what he does post injury. But we had Justice Hill looking good last year. Yeah, I'm just talking about like people. I think Derrick Henry probably got like maybe 2 years left in the tank, maybe 2. Father Time does have to catch up to everybody. We're saying that with LeBron a couple of nights a week here. So it's going to happen. You just take so much punishment. And I can't think of anybody running back wise that's gotten punished more than Derrick Henry. He does a lot more punishing than he gets punished, but those carries have to take a toll on the body.
Lamar Jackson is probably going to extend his career because you really can't sell out to stop Derrick Henry, because if Lamar Jackson pull it, he's out of it. He's gone. So I think it's kind of like how you look with what Jalen Hurts did for Miles Sanders. When Jalen Hurts was running, like, his first 2 years he was running, you saw Miles Sanders get those 6-7 man fronts instead of 8 men in the box. And that really kind of gave Miles Sanders 2 really, really, really good years. I think you'll see the same thing with Derrick Henry. They're not going to be able to. I don't think the league's going to be able to stop him. I think with the Ravens, it's going to come down, can Lamar Jackson throw the ball successfully in the playoffs? I think it comes down to that. It's been like that for the last 2 years. Now, Zay Flowers kind of turned the game around when he fumbled, in the end zone. It was a good play. Things happen, but I think that's kind of like more of anything that kind of changed the outcome of the game. But I like the Ravens this year, man, especially with Derrick Henry. I'm sold. I think he'll be good for another 3 years, and that's all you need. Because let's face it, if y'all don't do anything in the next 3 years, they're gonna blow that team up anyway.
Yeah, I actually think this is it's rare that I say this, but I actually think this is a hot seat year for John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't get it done this year, I think he's gone. And it's weird because as much as I love John Harbaugh, he does place the blame a lot. He doesn't really take ownership for a lot of the things that happens, especially when it comes to the offensive and defensive coordinators that you have selected to be your coordinators. But I do agree with you. I think that you'll see less 8-man boxes against the Ravens, which is crazy when you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. But I don't think that has anything to do with Derrick Henry. I think that'll have everything to do with how we scheme up Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Zay Flowers. I think that Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, I think we should go to kind of like that Patriot-style offense where both of them are on the field and both of them are allowed to kind of dictate what happens. I honestly wouldn't even be mad if we just put Isaiah Likely on the outside, and just had him play receiver a little bit here and there. It wouldn't bother me at all because I think that's what takes away from a lot of it as well. If you have those weapons, because the thing with Philly is y'all also have AJ Brown, y'all got Devontae Smith, y'all got all of these weapons on the outside that forces that 5 and 6 man box instead of that 7 and 8. Yeah, you have to just because you have to respect them. That's why I wouldn't. If the Ravens did want to go all in, it would be going all in to trade up for a wide receiver that forces teams to kind of be like, all right, we can't really do anything. But we also have to see what Monken does year 2. He's able to kind of get his offense going a little bit more. Everybody should understand the offense a little bit better. So kind of fun. The one thing I did hate about the playoff game wasn't necessarily Lamar because I think Lamar played out of his mind. I did hate the coaching a little bit when it came to running the football and just being the Baltimore Ravens. Um, but I also controversially, I hated Mark Andrews coming back when he did.
Yeah.
I thought Mark Andrews should have been a Super Bowl comeback, not a conference finals comeback. I think we tried to incorporate him too much into the game when Isaiah Likely at that point had been on a streak for weeks of being dominant and causing havoc in games. But that doesn't really do anything when it comes to the terrible interceptions and just kind of like off balance that our offense kind of. I don't know what happens to us in the playoffs where our offense just kind of just goes away from being our offense.
I do have a question for Al Crawford. In the same sense, like the Eagles were like destroying the league for like the first 10 games, but it always felt a little bit off because it was like every game was close and it was like they wasn't blowing people out. It was just like they were getting by. And then all of a sudden the second half of the year they just imploded right in front of your eyes. Like what are your thoughts? Like what do you think was the cause of that? Like
I think that Nick Sirianni's offensive system got figured out. I think teams knew what the Eagles were going to do when they showed them certain looks, and I think that more than anything kind of stalled the offense. I think also our D coordinator not being seasoned. We had a rookie D coordinator, or maybe not rookie, but a very young D coordinator. I think that the players didn't really trust him and what he could do, and I felt like that Matt Patricia trying to save it made it worse because everybody already knows Matt Patricia has a kind of like a personality flaw. He rubs a lot of players the wrong way, and I think the veterans kind of balked at it. So that's why you see now the first thing the Eagles did to close business, they fired their offensive defensive coordinators. They got rid of both of them. They bring in Kellen Moore, somebody that is so far away from what Nick Sirianni likes to do that I believe the players will feel like it's a breath of fresh air. I think the coordinator having Vic Fangio is somebody who people don't know. He was on the Eagles staff that went to the Super Bowl against that when we played the Chiefs. He was a senior advisor, so the players know him. They know what he wants. They know what his concepts are. So I think more so than anything, it was just coaching. I think coaching was one of the big reasons. We didn't have an answer for a lot of the stuff that the league had ready for us. I also think Jalen Hurts is the type of guy that seems to me he's inconsistent probably from year to year. I think when he has a good year, he follows it up with a not so good year. You saw that even at Alabama. His freshman year lights out. Sophomore year got benched. Junior year comes back. I think he's kind of seesaw. And I know Jalen Hurts has said that comes from lack of having continuity. Not having the same coordinator. You saw when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, we lost our coordinator to the Indianapolis Colts. And then you look at this year he's losing basically Sirianni as his offensive caller, and Brian Johnson goes to the Commanders. He's not excited. He's not thrilled about having Kellen Moore there. I know that he's not thrilled. I mean, I think it's something that needs to happen, but he's not thrilled because he has to learn a whole new offense. So, but that's why he gets paid the big bucks. So he'll figure it out.
There it is. I just wanted to get on one last. We talked about all teams. I gotta come to the Commanders. No, the number 2 overall pick. It seems like it's going to be Jaden Daniels, and it should be. It should be Jaden Daniels. Don't do that, Crawford. Don't do that because we're trying to change our ways, baby. We trying to change our ways. I wanna know from. I'm gonna talk to you guys about this, and as I'm talking through it because we Crawford, we've been cool, we've been boys for a long time. I've been in the dump for a while. You know what I'm saying?
You deserve this, man. You deserve to get Jaden Daniels. You deserve it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I feel like it's only right. The one thing that concerns me,
all right,
because he reminds me a lot of RG3.
That's a good thing.
And he reminds me of RG3. Good things and bad things. Jaden Daniels takes a lot of unnecessary hits. A whole lot of unnecessary hits. What can Cliff Kingsbury do and this team drill into Jaden Daniels to like, hey, you have an opportunity to have a nice long career if you get out of bounds and you slide? Because I've seen a lot of games in college, like Florida games and stuff like that, where he's just being crazy and taking a lot of unnecessary hits. I need him to be a little bit conservative in his running.
Yeah.
What are the chances that those things could be tweaked for the better for the Washington Commanders?
I think it gets tweaked by the NFL just being the NFL, though.
There you go.
I think that he's going to learn when he takes that, because taking a big hit in college and taking a big hit in the NFL is not the same. I think we saw something similar with Lamar, where Lamar was taking a lot of unnecessary hits, but you've seen that transition to where he goes out of bounds, or he slides, or he dives. I think either, sadly, it happens one or two ways. You either get hurt and you learn it, or you just learn it after that first big hit that you don't want to take anymore. Because when you wake up that next day, you feel a little different, hurt a little bit when you get up. I think that's the only thing that'll teach it to him, to be honest. I don't think he played baseball, right? Baseball is the only quarterbacks that play baseball are the only ones that just come into the NFL just with that slide ability and potential.
Indeed. And what else? What is something else that you think the Commanders need to address at the draft? And the rumor is that we're coming back in that first round. So that's why when Riles, I don't know if it was Riles or Roger, I was talking about possibly trading that pick and getting into the top of the second round. We got 2 picks. We got pick number 36. We got pick number 40. So it quiet as kept, but we're probably going to get back into that first round. I'm thinking it's going to be a lineman because the offensive line has been nothing to really look at in the past 4-5 years or whatever. So what are some things that the Commanders absolutely need to address at least in day one?
Defensive end. I think the Commanders need a defensive end. Also, I think they could use a running back. Now I know they got the boy from the Chargers,
Eckler.
But I definitely think they need to address the running back situation, offensive line, and D line. Both of the trenches. I think they need to do offensive, defensive line. Cornerback is also a sneaky need.
Yes.
I mean, for real, to be honest, if I was the Commanders, I would pick the best player available outside of quarterback because they're a team that I think this year they need to acquire as much talent as they can possibly get. Kind of like the Patriots.
You don't like Brian Robinson? You don't like Brian Robinson, the running back they got? What was that, 2 years ago? I think they got him.
50 Cent, Mini Man. Nah. I mean, he all right, but my thing about Brian Robinson is I don't care how many carries you get him, he's always going to stop at 75 yards. I don't care if you give him 30 carries, 75 yards, you give him 14 carries, he's going to have 75 yards. The man can't get.
He sounds like a guy that be on that FanDuel. That's what he sounds like.
I know. Trust me, I know. Hey, if you ever want to see how good a player is, put him on your FanDuel ticket. You'll know. Trust me, he's Mr. 75 yards. Look, if I'm the Commanders, I'm getting as much as talent as I possibly can get. I hope they don't overthink it with Jaden Daniels, because I've heard some sneaky things about McCarthy's he's rising as a possibility, which I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if McCarthy's career goes either way, if he's a bust or he's one of the better quarterbacks. I mean, let's not forget McCarthy's one of the kids that was highly taught coming out of high school. Like he was definitely, top 10 coming out of high school. And he definitely lived up to, the billing in college. He won a championship. I just don't know if I'm going to put my franchise in his hands and want him to upstart. Jaden Daniels has a chance to stop crime in DC. That's how good he can be. I know you remember, Cavante, how peaceful DC and PG County was through the RG3 run. It was crazy.
That was great.
Daniels could do that. He has that electrifying ability to run, throw, and really kind of finish what RG3 started. I think it'll be a good story and a good feeling. RG3, it was things that was off the field that kind of derailed him. Now, I'm a little nervous with Jaden Daniels because it sounds like he doesn't want to go to the Commanders. I don't know if it's manufactured by the Raiders, hint, hint, and they're trying to push that out there to kind of, start some stuff. But him and his agent's definitely working the social media aspect to kind of get people, I don't know.
Right.
Well,
that kind of worries me because you don't want to. I mean, I guess in one hand, you say you draft a kid and he'll be a professional, but I don't know if the Commanders can survive drafting a kid that doesn't want to be there and having another first or second pick bust. Chase Young, RG3. I don't know if the Commanders can go through another one like that.
No, we can't. I can't go through another one. Damn the Commanders, me. Me, I can't go through another.
Damn the Commanders.
You know
what though? I'll be honest. I told you I was really hoping y'all could have gotten Caleb. I feel like Caleb going back home would have been so much of a better story than going to the Bears, and I was hoping that the Bears would get Justin Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr., but we all saw that wasn't the case. But if Jalen Daniels doesn't want to go there, I don't know what other quarterback that they could get, because I mean you've heard some names like Drake May maybe going out there, but I don't know who else the Commanders, because the Commanders need a quarterback, but I just don't know, especially with a defensive coach too, how that's gonna fare.
Fair enough. Well, one more question, guys, and I'll let y'all go. I'll go around the room. One wild thing that you think, one wild thing you think you'll see on draft night, and it could be from somebody wearing, it could be a crazy trade, somebody wearing something crazy, somebody forgetting to pick. So whatever y'all think, one thing that you think that's going to be unorthodox or unusual or crazy, for Thursday night NFL draft.
I think the Minnesota Vikings will get a quarterback in the top 10.
I think Drake May goes to the Giants and replaces his fellow North Carolina brethren out there. It's time. It's time.
Well, I guess his ACC brethren, because then those go to Duke.
Oh yeah, look, I know North Carolina and Duke, but hey, look, it's only fitting. It's only fitting.
Raj,
what was it? I think the Ravens trade Rashad Bateman on draft night, and I think we get. I think Mike McDonald gives us DK Metcalf.
Fantasies work too.
That would be amazing, because that's all we missing is that wide receiver, and DK. He would definitely fit that Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith guy that we need right there in the middle. I don't know, Rouse. I don't know if you're feeling that, but
I'm not mad at the Metcalf. I've never been super duper mad at the Metcalf to the Ravens. Kind of just trade scenario. I'm trying to remember what was the most quarterbacks taken in the first round. I think that was the one with Lamar, right? What was it, 5
Yeah, it was
that
5
year?
that year
Yeah.
because that
Yeah,
was
you had
I
Sam
think it was
Darnold, you
Lamar,
had
Sam
Baker
Darnold.
Mayfield, you had the what was the other dude? Yeah, Lamar.
It was Sam Darnold was in that draft too, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Sam Darnold,
Yeah, I
Baker
think so.
Mayfield, Lamar, and the dude that went to Arizona.
No, it wasn't Kyler. Kyler came
Nah,
out later,
Kyler.
but it was
No, the dude before Kyler.
you talking
Rosen,
about
Rosen,
Rosen,
Sam
Josh
Rosen.
Rosen, and Josh
Gosh.
Allen. There you go. That's the
and
5.
Josh Allen. Yep, 5. So I think the record is 5 rounds.
I think you're gonna see that get broken. I think it'll be 6 quarterbacks taken
Who do you
in
think is
this
going to be the
draft. I
sixth
think
one? Oh, you're right. I got sorry, my fault. I got the 6 in front of me. I can see
yeah,
that.
I think you're gonna see all 6 of them go in the first, breaking that record. I do think the Ravens trade out of the first round unless somebody that doesn't need to be there is there. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the first times that the Ravens trade up because, like I said earlier, I do think John Harbaugh's his tenure as the Baltimore Ravens coach is on the line. So it would not shock me at all if we just decide that hey, we gotta trade up, we gotta make it happen this year. We gotta go get that guy that makes a difference for us.
Now you're saying that you think that they move up to draft a wide receiver?
Yeah.
Okay.
If one of the big
Anyone in
4
particular?
falls, who I think could fall that I think would make us jump up is Rome. I think that's kind of what we're missing. That big body guy that's just on the outside. I keep comparing him to Mike Evans because that's what I see a lot when it comes to him. But I think that would be what would kind of make us be like, you know what, it's time. I'm happy we didn't bring back Odell. He was good for like the aesthetics of it, kind of. I don't want to compare him to Mark Ingram because Mark Ingram actually did kind of have some good stats with us. But just that locker room presence, that bringing everybody together. He was a part of the Lamar Jackson contract more than he was on field work, in my opinion.
Now I'm surprised Odell hasn't gotten signed yet, though. I thought somebody would have taken him, but never know.
He'll be picked up in training camp.
Yeah, he'll post draft. Somebody that doesn't get a receiver.
You
Maybe the
what
Dolphins.
finally to the Jets or something?
Oh gosh.
No, I think it'll be the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was gonna say Miami. Probably.
Oh, I mean, what they already got Waddle and then
Tyreek.
Tyreek. Yeah, wow. That would
got A-Chan and Mo start.
But the only thing is with the Dolphins, though, you've seen it last year, man. It's just it's going to be interesting.
Listen, it's hard. Listen, Miami. Listen, all the top teams at AFC are in frigid areas, and Miami to go anywhere. That's the gauntlet that they're going to go through, and them little wide receivers only going to take you but so far.
But I mean, I'm just thinking about something Rouse said with 2026 because you got Dax in the last year of his contract. Trevor Lawrence hasn't gotten an extension yet, and neither has Tua. And I'm pretty sure there's some quarterback that I'm missing, but that's going to be interesting to see that these quarterbacks here haven't gotten extensions, and then you got these young guys coming in. So,
well, Dre, in the Trevor Lawrence draft, he's the only one that's still on this team that went in the first round.
Yeah.
All the other 4 that went in that first round have all been traded, which is crazy. But yeah, and Trevor Lawrence is the only one that still remains.
Crazy.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't L Crawford? You talked about that before. How hard or how good you have to be in the NFL to scout, just to scout, man. Because my gosh, how does a team look at itself? After 3 years, typically it take 3 years to I guess judge a draft, and you don't have your first round quarterback. That's kind of crazy. But
it's hard, man. The quarterback position is hard, and we're seeing that even teams that are good, if you don't feel like you got the guy, I mean, the 49ers, we seen them. They felt like they didn't have the guy, and they pulled it, and a guy that took them to the Super Bowl, the Rams, they did it, and they end up winning the Super Bowl by trading their quarterback. So if you don't feel like you got the guy, don't be afraid to make the move.
Indeed. All right, good brothers. Rouse El Crawford, appreciate both of y'all. Spend a little bit of time with your boy talking about the NFL draft. I'm really excited about Thursday. We're doing a live stream of the NFL draft. Commanders are probably going to pick within the first 45 minutes or so. Hopefully, we'll see. It's never quick. Everybody takes the full 10 minutes. How many is it? 10 or 15 minutes? How many minutes did it in the?
I think it's down to 10, right?
I feel like it's like half an hour.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, and they take all the time, and it's like we know what's the Bears. Like, we know what y'all doing. Like, why? And they still gonna take 9 minutes and 8 seconds to do it. So
yeah,
it's gonna take some time for the Commanders to pick. But I'm excited. So please check out the live stream. Be in the comments. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully, because if the Commanders jack this up, y'all gonna hear about it next Monday. But,
hopefully y'all don't jack it up like these Lakers. Well, right now they're winning, but I don't know
it's
if
not.
they
up by 9. I jacked up this year.
But please.
LeBron's trying, but he's running out of gas.
Who's running out of gas?
LeBron's running out of gas. He's trying.
No, it's coming. It's coming. No, Crawford. You already know how that go. But clap it up. Rouse, El Crawford, appreciate you guys. Rouse, please tell the good people how they can keep up with you and all that good stuff.
You can pretty much follow me everywhere. Rouse the World. If you want to check out the podcast, it is Disqualified Opinions pretty much everywhere that you can listen or watch a podcast. We're on. Check us out. We do sports. We do life. We try to cover as much as possible. Thank you.
Indeed. El Crawford, how could the good people keep up with you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Brandon_be knowing. And you can also follow me on Twitter, and that's El Crawford, EL_Crawford, CRAWFO. I'm always up for a good debate, so DM me or just at me out in public. I can, we can do it anywhere, anytime. But yeah, that's how you can keep up with me.
Indeed. All right, good brothers. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. We'll be talking with you guys, and again, appreciate the time.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, have a good one.
Indeed. Good brothers, for sure. Definitely good brothers. Always fun to talk about the NFL draft. There's always a fun time of the year looking at prospects, seeing what teams are looking at what prospects, and y'all already know it's lion season, so it's hard to believe a lot of what's coming out until the week of all the craziness about JJ McCarthy came out of nowhere. Drake May is trash now after being arguably the QB number 2 at the beginning of the year.
Crazy.
This is all fun, and it always flips. There's always a guy every year that comes out of nowhere, and I think that's JJ McCarthy this year, and
really
probably gonna. And I think the Vikings are gonna. They may be the trade partner with the Patriots, but it's gonna be fun to watch and see that unfold. Is there an update with the Nuggets and Lakers, Dre?
82,
right, 82-73. Yeah. Under 10 minutes left.
Okay, we'll see. All right, so let's get into the NBA playoffs. The first round is underway. Probably about half the teams have played their second game or about to play, about to finish their second game. Any surprises? Any surprises you guys see early? I know it's early in the first round, but are there any surprises that pop out to you guys?
I told you my surprise. I'm surprised that the Knicks are up 2-0 the 76ers, being that Randall has been out, Embiid back. I thought that the 76ers would, maybe at least split it with the Knicks, but not be down 2-0. Granted, Maxey, he's out with an illness. Embiid is still working his way, being that he's coming from injury. Still, though, the Knicks without Julius Randle, I would just think would have kind of folded as a team. And then also we know the hard coaching that Tim Thibodeau has done over the years, dating back to his days with both the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Chicago Bulls. He runs these cats into the ground, and yet the Knicks still have found a way. And what it's showing me is the emergence of Brunson.
JB.
I mean, this brother, he has gotten better and better every year. But this year, man, he's really elevated the Knicks. So if the Knicks can get past the 76ers, it's still a long series, even if you're up 2-0, still a long series. But that's the surprise to me right now. I did not expect that.
My surprise is the Clippers, man. James Harden had 28 points yesterday. I was kind of shocked. I thought Dallas was going to, do their thing against them because Luka and Kyrie have been playing really great this season. But it was just shocking, man. Without Kawhi Leonard, they didn't implode. They look really good. They look like they can make a run if they continue to play like this. So that was shocking. Also, Milwaukee winning. I thought that was kind of shocking as well without Giannis. They won in dominating fashion. I was like, wow, I'm kind of impressed with old Doc Rivers' team. But there's only one game, of course, for each series, so that was shocking as well. But I have to say that nothing is shocking about this team, the Lakers and Nuggets right now.
No.
The Nuggets are on a whole nother level. The Lakers were up, I think, by 20 points, and now they're only down by 5 points. The Nuggets, so nothing is shocking about this. It's going to probably come down to the wire. The Nuggets probably take this game.
Hey, don't you speak that blasphemy.
I'm just being honest, man.
No, ain't no being honest.
I am.
Somebody didn't go to church yesterday. Somebody didn't turn to the King James version of his Bible. I got faith in old Goat James.
He's no, Dre. He's just he's old.
Just, you don't have no faith.
He's old. He's old.
The size of a mustard
seed
is all we.
He's old James now. But he's still a great player, but he can't lead the team like he used to, especially with times like this. But yeah, man. The playoffs have been pretty good so far. The start of them have been pretty good. But yeah, man.
I think
Lakers.
I think Minnesota sticking their foot in the Suns.
Yeah.
In the first game.
Trash talking and everything, boy. I love it.
Listen, I ain't mad. And KD just smiled because he's like, the young man got me. You know what I'm saying? Because KD a little longer than he a little longer in the tooth too. He's
35.
He's 35, but that's young and regular people years, but he's been in the league since he was 19 about. So
19.
And if you
coming
notice
out of Texas, he was one and done out of Texas. Yeah,
right.
If you notice, that hole in the back of his head has gotten a lot.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this, Raj. That's
wow.
what we're not doing. That's what we're not doing. Is that showing his age? The biggest get. he can legit look at Ant-Man and say young man and mean it. But yeah, I think Minnesota. We were talking about in our previews. We briefly went over, each series and what we thought, and I thought the Timberwolves had a little something for the Suns, and you know how the Suns are currently constructed. They play a lot of one-on-one ball, and we all know long term, as you get deep into the playoffs, that mess don't work. You gotta play team ball, man, and they just got a lot of guys who can, score. A lot of guys that could create for themselves, but as far as a team, that's rough. It's going to be rough for the Suns, and of course, Minnesota has the youth and the home court advantage on that side. So it's going to be interesting to see how that series plays out. Any other surprises? I think we pretty much went through them all.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing really surprising about the first round except the Knicks, being 2-0 against the Sixers. But thank God that Embiid is not hurt, though. I mean, because after he had went down the other day, I was like, that wasn't looking too good. But he came back, and everything is good. Oh, and of course, the Celtics is up 2-0 as well against the.
That's no surprise.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, actually, 1-0, but yeah,
No, we know it's going to be 2-0. A team without, I mean, that team is just not the same without Jimmy. So it's unfortunate. Just like the Bucks without Giannis, I feel like there's another injury out there that we're forgetting about.
Kawhi.
I mean, but Kawhi always resting though. That's nothing.
Is he hurt? Is he hurt? Or is he resting? What are we doing?
He's hurt.
Not during the playoffs. That all bets should be off in the playoffs.
He always hurt in the playoffs. This is nothing new.
No, yeah, fair.
Since he became a Clipper, he's been doing our bidding by getting hurt like every year. But I mean, hopefully he'll be back though for the Clippers. He'll be back.
Okay, all right. So let's jump to the award. The award finalists. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Anthony Davis was asked. I saw it was on social media. He was asked probably doing a press conference about him basically not being a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. And he basically said in so many words like, "Hey, I'm the best Defensive Player of the Year," and basically the writers or the NBA does not like him. I believe Bam Adebayo, Victor Wemby, and I think Gobert are the three finalists for that award. How do y'all think how do you think that will unfold for Defensive Player of the Year?
Am I on mute?
No, you're good.
No, you good. You good.
Okay. I think that Anthony Davis has a case. I mean, he's played most of the season. I think 76 games so far this year. And I think this is the most that he's played since his rookie or second year in the league. And he's been playing extremely well, extremely great. He was an all-star this year as well. He definitely can make a case of being Defensive Player of the Year. Just like his team is nowhere, without him, of course, on this squad. So he has a case along with Victor and Rudy Gobert and Bam Adebayo. I mean, he has a case. He has a case. So, but as far as him saying that, that the league doesn't like him, I mean, they don't like when you don't play. That's
what word.
They don't like. They don't like when you're not out there on the court every night, or at least as much as possible. So, yeah, he has a case for it. He can be mad, but it is what it is. But if he continues, to play like he is, in the next coming years, hopefully he'll get a Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, like you say, he has a case for it, but I mean, are you really more? To me, are you more focused on Defensive Player of the Year? Or are you more focused on winning another championship? I mean, because LeBron has said that, and that's a discussion that we can also have too. That LeBron's never won Defensive Player of the Year, so it's great for your Hall of Fame accolades, but the bigger goal needs to be, for me, winning another championship and making sure that you're healthy enough to stay on the floor. Because in years prior we were really questioning it until recently. So That would be my only concern.
MVPs. The MVP award. We have three. We have three finalists. We have the Joker with the Nuggets. We got SGA, OKC, and Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know. Well, I was about to say
Luka probably win that.
all foreign guys too.
Yeah, Luka the Mill probably win.
Luka.
I got SGA. I think he's made the biggest improvement, especially with the with OKC. I think he's put them on the map. I mean, I never expected them to be the number one, seed in all of the NBA. I thought the Nuggets would have definitely took that back, but he has been a major difference. He's improved his game every year, and I think he deserves to be the MVP.
Indeed. I like sheesh. I think I like SGA too. Same.
I'm not mad at those picks, gentlemen.
Kind of the same deal, Roger. And I always go back to the days remember when Chris Paul was on this team and they were just a bunch of young bucks with all these picks for the future. And it's like, oh man, if those guys could just get it right.
Yep.
And I feel like the time has come now. Unfortunately, Chris Paul is, somewhere on the wayside right now. But
he's in Cancun right now.
He is in Cancun. Didn't make it through the play-in. The team led by SGA has made a huge jump because they always had young talent. You know what I'm saying? And then all these picks, and it's finally come together. Now, there's no way in hell if we would have known that OKC was going to be number one, we'd have won a lot of money on FanDuel, DraftKings, DraftKings, and all that, because ain't no way in hell you'd have told me at the beginning of the year that OKC was going to be the number one team in the West. Now, sure, playoff team, sure, even top four, but number one. And the Nuggets had the lead for a nice, for a nice little run, and the Thunder steadfast and was able to stick around and jump the Nuggets, which I think is the wildest thing ever. So for that, I think I would lean SGA. Is there a chance that Victor Wemby does not win Rookie of the Year?
No.
No chance. He's got that thing on lock, bro.
I mean, listen, he's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year as well.
He might win that too.
Oh, he might.
He might win both.
He's averaging 4 blocks a game. Like it's.
I mean, he's 7'8", right?
He looks like it. He looks like it. Like he doesn't jump off the ground to block shots. He really doesn't jump off the ground to dunk. Like it's crazy out there, and it's absolutely unfair. Let's see. I'm not aware. I wasn't aware of this award, but the Clutch Player of the Year award. We have Steph Curry, Warriors, DeMar DeRozan, Chicago Bulls, and SGA with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I didn't know Clutch Player of the Year was an award.
I've the first ever heard of it, but if I got to give it to somebody, since I'm giving SGA the MVP, I got to give Steph the Clutch Award. It's only fair. SGA can't get every award
now. No. That's absolutely.
It seems like that's what we're trying to do, but
I think yeah, I mean SGA, he has been and the brother has been clutch though. I will say that the nomination for clutch Player of the Year is definitely warranted, but we go ahead and slide that one to Stephen Curry. But okay, so let's wrap. Let's transition. Raj, we were talking about this before the before the show started, I was not I was not able to watch, but I heard a couple big time boxers had a had a showdown.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And Garcia
Mm-hmm.
was up in there, and Haney was
Yep.
was up in there. You want to give your synopsis, your take on what happened, and fill me in. All I saw was the highlights of it, and maybe you give me a little bit more insight or as to how you saw things unfold.
All right. Well, this is how I saw things. Ryan Garcia and wait a minute, who was it?
Haney,
Hell,
Devin.
Devin Haney. That's right. It was a good fight, man. I didn't really expect it to be. I was a lot of shenanigans going into this fight. Usually it
About the
is
weight, about his weight, right?
no, just in general. Ryan Garcia has not been himself. He's been doing a lot of antics online. He's been talking like crazy things and talking about the Illuminati. He's going to do this to certain people, and he's been all
What's he
over the place,
doing? Why he doing
bro.
that? What
Bro,
he
he's
doing?
been, bro. Truth is, has been doing a whole like 3 or 4 or 5 videos on Ryan Garcia alone, just about the stuff that he's talking about, which is stuff that people don't talk about. He's doing that type of stuff, but. Yeah, man. So I thought going into this fight that he wasn't in the right mental space. I thought that Devin Haney was going to come out and just pretty much end him. I thought Garcia was just playing around most of the time. But starting the fight out, Garcia went in there. He did his thing, man. From the first round and to I think they went on 12 rounds, but from the first round on, he just did his thing. And Devin Haney had nothing for him. Every time Devin Haney tried to, get in close, Ron Garcia would just nudge him off or just punch him, give him a jab, and then like it was a really physical fight. So they did a lot of clutching, but Garcia would give him these flurries. He would mop, and then he would back off. And the thing that I like most what Garcia did is after watching him and Tank fight, I remember Garcia, he was too aggressive against Tank. Like he would just kept going in and going in and going in. And eventually Tank caught him with a left.
Yep.
Or a right hook. And it was over for him. This fight, he took his time. He knew when to pick his spots. And he pretty much just dictated the fight the whole time, while Devin Haney was just left clueless of what to do, really. So I thought it was an amazing fight for Ron Garcia. It was a really bad fight for Devin Haney, but nonetheless, it was very entertaining. Of course, most of the top stars were there. Mike Tyson was there. Holyfield was there. A lot of other guys were there in the building. The GWOAT was there. Clarissa Shields, she was in the building. It was a really good fight, man. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you check it out. But it was cool to see, man. It was definitely cool to see. I'm so glad Ron Garcia didn't embarrass himself or the sport of boxing because, like I said before, he was doing a lot of antics, and a lot of stuff just wasn't like meant for television, if you know what I mean. But yeah, man, it was a really good fight overall.
Interesting. So well, I guess where does Devin Haney go next? I'm hearing well, Garcia fought Tank already, right?
Yes, Garcia fought Tank and Tank won.
Right. Is there potential? Well, okay, so 2 questions. Where does what's next for Devin Haney? And does Ryan Garcia have a chance for a rematch?
I think Ron Garcia is going to move up in weight because during this fight he missed weight like by 3 pounds, so he ended up having to owe Ron Garcia ended up having to owe Devin Haney I think $1.5 million because it was like every pound that you miss, you owe me 500K. So he said, bet. So he actually paid him 1.5 million of his purse. So I don't think, and after the fight, I heard Ron Garcia say he doesn't want to fight at 140. He wants to move up in weight. So, and unless Tank is going to move up with him, I guess the 140, 145, they'll have a rematch maybe in the near future. But as of right now, I don't see it. I think Garcia probably weighs his options.
Pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. He probably weighs his options, who he's going to fight. I'm not sure which opponent that's going to be, but it's going to be pretty much another contender. As far as Devin Haney is concerned, I think he might take the rest of the year off. The beatdown that he took on Saturday night was definitely not. It was definitely a shocker to see him just get punished like that and get knocked down 3 straight times. But I think he takes a tune-up fight when he does come back. He takes a lower opponent, get his feet wet yet again, and maybe slowly but surely build himself back up. But yeah, man. Like I said before, Devin Haney is a top-class fighter, but he just got outclassed in a worse way. It's one thing to lose a close fight, but to get beat like that. Yeah, you might. I think he must go. He has to go back to the drawing board for a little bit.
Yikes! Devin Haney sounds like you would go take a little hiatus for a little bit, and that's okay for boxers to do because they don't they fight at the soonest every 6 months, but at least once a year. So he has some time to get himself together and recoup and replenish and all that good stuff. But Ryan Garcia moving up weight classes, something to see. So what is the next weight class for Ryan Garcia if he stays where he's going?
I think he's fighting at welterweight. So I guess it would be. I think it's not maybe light. Is it light middleweight? I think it's like 150 or 154 or something like that. So if he moves up maybe like 145, 150, I think that might be welterweight. So I think they were fighting that lightweight or something like that. Not a lightweight, but super lightweight. The classes are so jacked up. I couldn't even tell you. I can just tell you the pounds that they fought at.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, nobody lost the belt though, because no belts were on the line. Thanks to Garcia missing weight.
Right. Okay. So the belt is what does happen with the belt? So since no belt was on the line, so that means the belt remains with
the belt remained with Devin Haney. He didn't lose it. He just got beat.
From what I was saying, how he got beat up pretty bad. But I want to say, knocked down 3 times?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it were ugly knockdowns too.
Yeah. That's that. I mean, that was part of the highlights I seen. I said, "Ooh, damn, ooh, like what happened, baby?" But he did last the whole
the whole 12 rounds.
The whole 12.
Yeah.
The whole 12. So if you're gonna look at the how do you say the silver lining, he did last the entire round. So. But it was a unanimous decision because it was pretty clear that it was Ryan Garcia's match.
Oh yes, but, and he said after the fight that he was drinking the entire time. So take it or leave it. That's exactly what he said though.
Take it or leave it. Very, very interesting. All right, Raj, shoot, we can wrap this puppy up. Do you have?
You got a goofy?
I want to talk about. I do want to talk about something goofy. With you.
But before you do that, we got news that the Lakers have lost 101-99 to Denver Nuggets. A buzzer beating win. I mean buzzer beating shot by is it Jamal Murray? I gotta see the replay of it, but yeah, they lost.
Sheesh, and they were up. Jeez.
Yep, they were up by 20.
Jeez,
yeah, it was Jamal Murray that hit the game-winning shot.
Yikes! That's That's demoralizing. They'll probably lose in 5 games now.
Yeah, it's over. Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate. Yeah, that stings because you as a road team, you want to get one of them first two.
Mm-hmm.
And a game, especially a game that you had, not to say you had it wrapped up, but you were ahead. You were ahead in that game.
Yes, you were.
Unfortunate ending of game 2 for the Lakers.
Yep.
But Goofies. Raj, how do you want to do this?
We can do it the regular way. Let me see if I can find the Mr. Goofy.
Mr. Goofy, my man's always nearby, somewhere around.
Okay, there he is. There's Mr. Goofy. So you just let me know when you're ready.
Oh,
well, hold up. I gotta find the actual whatchamacallit too.
Oh, the sound.
Oh, okay, never mind. I got it. I got both. Okay. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Transitioning and right now.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Listen. Good people. Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Welcome, good people. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to tell the good people what I thought was goofy this particular week. Over the past before I get into that, y'all know I deal with 2 levels of goofiness. I deal with the low level of goofiness where we kind of laugh at it, we key, and in the hopes that it does not become a higher level of goofiness. But typically, when it does, it's reached the plateau of goofiness where we have to congregate, we have to figure out what's going on and why. We have to answer the 5 W's and the who, what, where, when, why. This is goofy, and this particular week, actually, a couple of days ago over the weekend, it's just something I've noticed about the rap game, and I've talked about it. I don't know if it was last episode, episode before that, but the rap game music industry has gotten very, very interesting as of late. Beefs popping up all over the place. Chris Brown dropped something in reference to Quavo and a bunch of other things. I saw Kanye West pop his head out. It's just things are all over the place. But one thing I wanted to point out in particular that rap, musical artists, rap artists, that they do that I find weird and quite goofy is the fact that they talk about so usually in the beef you talk about multiple things, and in beef you do get very, very personal. It's almost like everything, well, it's almost like nothing is off limits, and that's real. Nothing is typically off limits when we're talking about beef. And it's not, and Chris Brown is just the latest of it, but guys talk about having sexual relations with the same group of girls is the wildest thing to me. It's almost like there's only a certain pool of girls that rappers and those that are in the music industry go after, and they're all typically messing with the same girl. So I don't think it's a flex. And Rod, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to get thoughts. Like, if I crazy, I don't think that is a flex. Saying you had relations with another with, I guess, basically your opponent's girl, because it's all in the same pool. Like, what are we really talking about? Nobody's exclusive in reality in this music industry. And I think again, I don't think that's a flex. I think it's a little bit on it's definitely on the goofy side because one, everybody talks about that. That's usually a typical. That's like low hanging fruit target. Now, granted, I don't know how many people knew about what Chris Brown said about Quavo in particular, but I just think it's not as big of a flex as I guess they think it is. I just I just think that part is a little goofy. Well, not a little goofy. I think it's a lot of goofy. And play it out. Now I feel like we probably should leave those type of relations out in beefs because in reality, y'all all messing with the same girl. Shout out to uh Kales with the same girl reference, but I I think it's goofy. But Raj, Drake, well, I don't know where Drake went, but Raj, what are your thoughts? Am I tripping for thinking that's goofy?
No, you're not tripping from thinking that's goofy. It is just funny that 2024 now all of a sudden we get Kendrick and Drake, you get Quavo and Chris Brown. Now you get Kanye West and Drake again, and then you got Future and Drake, and you got ASAP Rocky and Drake, and then J. Cole trying to take a shot at Kendrick. It's just a bunch of goofiness, man.
Cole didn't
But
take no shot.
Cole did take a shot.
Originally,
He had a song and he removed it. Remember, he apologized.
Originally he did.
But either way, like Avante said, I don't think that. I think Chris should have not said anything about Sweetie, and I think Quavo definitely should not have responded back today. Talking about Carucci or some other things that he had brought up in his diss back to Chris. And also, Chris shouldn't definitely not have brought off Takeoff. But yeah, man, this is the type of stuff that we witnessed back in the early, mid '90s with like Biggie and Pac, and then we seen it with 50 and Ja Rule back in '03.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah, good times. But
I mean,
it's just goofy.
But I mean, that's one of the things we always talk about. We complain about in this generation is saying that too many people are buddy. That there aren't enough beefs. That growing up, you had beefs and beefs were okay to have, and now you have too many at this point. It's like, come on, bro. It was one thing because the whole thing was just goofy from jump. You had Cole up there trying to pay homage and saying that it's three of us in the game that are the top dogs, and then Kendrick takes it the wrong way. He's like, no, I gotta be the top dog. It's like, come on, bro. Like this man over here trying to say like we brothers, we the baddest ones doing it, and then you over here taking it the wrong way, and then Cole comes at you only to apologize. I'm like, bro, like that. At that point, I just was like, nobody beef at this point. Like, I just that was just so frustrating. And now out of nowhere, you got Chris Brown who's had issues with a whole bunch of people, and now all of a sudden he's got a diss record. And I mean, it's like, come on, yo, like enough of this. Like, it just seems like a bunch of reaching and trying to get publicity for no reason from a bunch of cats at this point, for real. So I think the whole thing is just, I think all the beefs are goofy. At first, I was like, okay, Kendrick and Drake seeing what they can do. But then Kendrick, where's his diss track? Because, I mean, it took him so long.
He's on the clock. He's on the clock right now.
It took him so long to, come out with a diss record back at what he thought what he thought Cole was saying for so long. What was that, 5 months? The whole timeline began in October. So the whole thing, honestly, in totality, is just goofy. And I just wish they would all just sit down, make music, and go back to what it was. Like, okay, you don't like each other now, but we all know y'all gonna be buddy and making music together soon, just like Drake and Meek Mills was making music. So It just is what it is, man.
But
I
I ain't
think
gonna lie.
I think the last real beef that was Drake and Pusha T, and they stopped it before it became to the level of like 50 and Ja Rule. But that 50 and Ja Rule was the last real beef that you see that they still don't like each other to this day. But Pusha T and Drake, that was a beef, but the industry squashed that real quick.
I ain't gonna lie though. I mean, I don't like the beefing songs, but here's some good songs though. I ain't gonna front. The Drake joints have been nice, especially the AI Tupac and Snoop Dogg. That was a dope song. And also, even though Chris said some things, that was a dope diss. It really was. So it is what it is though. It is goofy all around, but at least they are making some great diss records. It's not trash.
It's all entertainment. Are you not entertained?
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
Well, I am. I'm entertained.
okay, my bad. I apologize for my
I'm messing around. I am entertained, but it's just like I told you. At some point, it's just kind of like, all right, here we go.
And again, I'm one that likes beefs and drama and saying like, oh dang, so he never liked Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you don't like Yo because of her. Like building up a story, creating a beef because conflict builds everything. Conflict builds WWE. Conflict builds
Here
sports.
you go. The WWE.
Conflict builds on movies because once the conflict is over, typically the movie is over. Typically the match is over. Typically the game is over. You know what I'm saying? So conflict drives pretty much everything, especially in entertainment. So it's good. It's just how you choose to lay out the content. Like Raj said, the beats and the tracks be tough. I'm just saying in particular the content, some of the overused content is just extra goofy because it's like y'all all pick from the same pool, so it's kind of weird. So it's not really a flex because all y'all doing is trading women at this point, which I think is, beyond goofy, and it's not anything to brag about, is what I'm saying. But yet and still, everybody got a line or two in their beef in regards to that. So I think that's the goofy thing of it. But I'm cool with the conflict. I'm cool with the drama. If it sound good, put that thing out. Now we ain't trying to get the Tupac Biggie. We not trying to get Nas, Jay-Z. We not trying to necessarily get there because folks end up losing their lives, and we'll want that necessarily. But we here for the drama. We here for the entertainment. It's just all I'm pretty much saying. Yeah, no, but that's it. That was my my long goofy of the week. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great, and parts and portions of these rap beefs and his content is on the wrong end. Got to do better. Got to do better.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Just goofy. Just
Nope, there you go.
Well,
but
that's goofy.
Oh snap! Hey, that
Well,
I heard it.
That's
Hey
goofy.
man, listen, brothers, we absolutely did what we could, and let me tell you this: I cannot wait for God's favorite host to get back. Cause God dog it. It took it took all of us to try to bring this together and figure this out, man. I did what I could with what I had, which is not a lot, but somehow, some way, we find a way to get it done. I was your host, the voice of reason, filling in some big shoes, big chairs, of God's favorite host, Byron. Can't wait for you to get back. Hopefully you get some rest, good brother. But also myself, co-founder of the Flex Zone, along with my guy, Mr. Andre, Drizzy, Dre, Melton, executive producer as well. Social media extraordinaire. He does the background work while still being on the show. Raj, I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't think you was gonna be on tonight. I thought you was just doing straight behind the scenes stuff, but you was able to do behind the scenes stuff and still be on air talent, which is incredible. Big ups to you, Roger, for helping me through this process. Dre, talking to me earlier today and giving me the opportunity, like, hey man, listen, this is your get down. Go ahead, get in the chair. Byron gave me the vote of confidence, and my gosh, listen, man, let me tell you something. This is not easy, man, but Byron does make it look easy, but my gosh, it is not. But great show, guys. We're running a little long, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Any final thoughts, Dre? Next show, what's going on, all that good stuff?
Next show we have some guests coming up, y'all, in the next coming weeks. Stay tuned. Yes, it's a lot happening in the sports world, from the WNBA to the NFL, but it's going to be some great conversations. Byron, we can't wait to have you back, because as Cravante said, it's not easy being in the host chair, so we do miss you. But I will say, my brother, I am proud of you, and I know that the lovely Shantae, this will be the only time I'll probably say this, but I know that she's proud of you too, man. I knew that you could do it, and you would do a wonderful job. This has been a plan in the works, y'all, for about a month now. We've been kind of talking about doing this, but I knew that it was kind of fitting that this was centered around Cravante, and it was only perfect that it was the keys were his, because it was his show, and this is his baby. So great job, brother. And now I know that you can do this again in the near future if we ever need you.
Indeed. Raj?
I got three things. Short and quick though. Shout out to YouTube. We're back in YouTube's good graces. Always a beautiful thing. So happy to be back on YouTube's good graces. Second, shout out to Swerve Scott from yesterday winning the AEW championship.
The
first black champion in that company's history. It was a wonderful moment, a wonderful night for wrestling, and it was a beautiful thing. And the last thing, Cravante, great job, man. You did a great job tonight. Held it down for Byron. Hosted El Crawford and Rouse, and I thought y'all had a wonderful conversation. I was trying to, go back and forth, making sure everything was right on the screens, and also watching the Lakers get their asses, kicked.
Bro, don't get started about that.
Like I told you, they was gonna lose, but
it was a buzzer beater.
It don't matter what it was. I told you they was gonna take an L, because this is what they do.
That's because you know what? Get off the air. You brought the negativity. That's all your fault.
It ain't being negative. I'm being real. I'm being honest. It is what it is.
Get him off.
But anyway, Cravante, you can close the show out, and I'm gonna hit that end stream.
All right. Good people. Follow us on the Flex Zone, Facebook, on X, the Flex Zone. Insta. Oh,
go ahead, Shantae, and then Graven.
Yes, and Graven. It hurt my heart. I'm a Lakers fan.
Lakers nation through and through, brother.
Ridiculous.
What else we got? Instagram at the Flex Zone 1. We on TikTok somewhere, and of course the good YouTube. Raj said we back, baby. We back. Follow us, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. The Flex Zone Podcast, as we are the only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When
you need it.
You got doggone right, man. We out of here, man. I'm tired. We out of here.
All right, y'all.
Peace, good people.
Whose house?
Swerve's house.
So it's not Run's house.
No, it's Swerve's.
Oh, okay.
Good night, everybody.